My beloved child, listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is something I was not permitted to whisper until this very moment. I saw your future, and I could not stop crying, not out of sorrow, not out of fear, but because of the overwhelming beauty of what is forming around you. There was a divine timing attached to this message, and the clock has aligned. When I say you have only 30 seconds left, I do not speak of an ending, I speak of a turning point. A sacred shift. A breath between who you were and who you are about to become. Don't skip this moment. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason your heart feels restless lately. A reason why certain connections have grown quiet, why certain doors have gently closed, why you have felt misunderstood even by those closest to you. I was shown the full picture. The conversations you never heard, the silent admiration from people who doubted you before, the unseen protection surrounding your path. And when I saw the next chapter unfolding, I was moved beyond words. Because what is coming toward you is not random. It is precise. It is intentional. It carries your name on it. You have spent so much time wondering if your efforts matter. If your patience has been wasted. If the nights you cried silently were unnoticed. But I saw every single moment. I saw how you chose growth instead of revenge. I saw how you remained kind when it would have been easier to harden your heart. I saw how you walked away from what was familiar because something inside you whispered that you deserved more. That whisper was not your imagination. It was guidance. And now, that guidance is about to become visible reality. There is someone connected to your future who is thinking about you more than you realize. Not in obsession. Not in desperation. But in awakening. They have been watching your transformation from a distance. They have seen the glow returning to your eyes. They have noticed the quiet confidence building in your steps. And it has stirred something deep within them. What shocked me when I saw your future was not just what you will receive, it was who will step forward because of who you have become. The 30 seconds I spoke of is symbolic of a decision. A window. A subtle moment where you either lean into faith or retreat into doubt. You will feel it soon. It may come as an unexpected message. A sudden opportunity. A chance encounter. A new idea that feels almost too bold to consider. In that moment, hesitation will try to speak louder than hope. But remember this message. Remember that I saw the outcome beyond your fears. And I was overwhelmed, not because of loss, but because of the magnitude of your breakthrough. There are blessings forming quietly that do not need noise to grow. The silence you experienced was not abandonment. It was preparation. You were being shaped, refined, aligned. While others questioned you, you were being positioned. While you felt overlooked, you were being protected from paths that would have delayed your destiny. Stay till the end of this message, because what you understand now will change how you walk tomorrow. I witnessed a scene in your future where you stand in a place you once prayed for. You are calmer. Stronger. Clearer. The confusion that once clouded your mind has lifted. The people who once underestimated you now look at you differently, not because you proved them wrong with words, but because your presence speaks for itself. There is dignity in your growth. There is grace in your timing. And there is a reunion of sorts that carries emotional depth you did not expect. But before that scene unfolds, there is this final stretch, the last 30 seconds of the old version of you. The version that questions their worth. The version that seeks validation from those who never fully understood them. That version is fading. Not disappearing in pain, but dissolving in realization. You are stepping into awareness. Into confidence that does not need applause. Into love that does not require chasing. Do not misunderstand the tears I shed when I saw your future. They were tears of pride. Tears of awe. Because the strength you developed through silent battles is about to translate into visible reward. And the most surprising part? The reward is not just external. It is internal peace. It is clarity. It is the deep knowing that you were guided all along. There is also a conversation approaching, a heartfelt exchange that clears misunderstandings you carried for too long. Words that were left unsaid will find their way into the open. Not to reopen wounds, but to close them gently. You will realize that what once felt like rejection was actually redirection. What felt like delay was divine synchronization. Something huge is waiting for you, but it does not arrive with chaos. It arrives with certainty. As you listen to these words, pay attention to your intuition. There is a subtle excitement rising in you. A quiet recognition that something resonates deeply. That is because your spirit already knows what is coming. Your mind is catching up. The final 30 seconds is simply the moment you decide to trust that inner knowing instead of dismissing it. You are closer than you think. Closer to the clarity you have been asking for. Closer to the connection you deserve. Closer to the version of yourself that no longer apologizes for shining. The tears I shed were not for what you lost, but for the overwhelming joy of what you are about to gain, not material excess, not unrealistic promises, but alignment. Purpose. A sense of belonging in your own life. Do not shrink now. Do not step back into old doubts. This is the threshold. This is the moment where everything shifts quietly but permanently. Stay with this message. Let it settle in your heart. Because when the opportunity appears, it will look ordinary at first glance. But you will feel the difference. You will sense the weight of significance behind it. And when that moment comes, when the metaphorical clock reaches its final 30 seconds, breathe. Choose courage. Choose openness. Choose to believe that the tears I shed were a reflection of the extraordinary life unfolding before you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. The future I witnessed carries light, stability, and a love that feels safe and mutual. It carries recognition without arrogance, success without losing yourself, joy without guilt. And the most beautiful part? You earned it by becoming authentic, by refusing to give up on growth, by choosing faith in the unseen. Something is shifting even now as you hear this. Don't skip over this feeling. Stay till the end of your own transformation. The next 30 seconds are not about countdown, they are about awakening. And when you step forward, you will realize that the tears I could not hold back were simply a reflection of the greatness that has always lived inside you, waiting for this exact moment to rise. There is a moment approaching that will feel almost unreal, as if time itself slows down just to let you recognize it. You may not understand at first why your heart begins to beat differently, why a sudden wave of calm replaces the confusion you have carried for so long. But this is the continuation of what I showed you before. When I said I saw your future and could not stop crying, I was shown layers. Layers of restoration, layers of elevation, layers of truth that were hidden from you for your own protection. And now those layers are beginning to peel back gently, revealing something that will leave you standing in quiet disbelief. You have underestimated how far you have come. You measured your progress by what you had not yet received, instead of honoring what you have already survived. You looked at the delays as failures. You looked at the silence as rejection. But the silence was not empty. It was sacred. It was a season where your character was being strengthened, your vision refined, your standards elevated. You were being prepared for something that required a stronger version of you. There were moments when you almost gave up on yourself. Moments when you questioned your worth, your path, even your dreams. But even in those fragile hours, you did not fully surrender to despair. There was always a small flame inside you that refused to go out. That flame is the reason I was moved when I saw what is ahead. Because that same quiet resilience is about to be rewarded in a way that feels deeply personal. Stay with me here. Do not rush this message. Don't skip over these words thinking they are just encouragement. Something huge is waiting for you, and understanding this part is essential. The turning point I spoke of is not dramatic or loud. It is subtle, but powerful. It begins with a shift in perception. You will start to see yourself differently. You will no longer beg for attention from those who fail to value you. You will no longer chase spaces that do not honor your presence. Instead, you will stand firm, and suddenly, the right spaces will begin to seek you. I saw a scene where you walk into a room, maybe not a physical room, but a new environment, a new chapter, and the energy shifts because of you. Not because you demand it. Not because you try to impress anyone. But because you have grown into your authenticity. There is a confidence forming within you that is quiet yet undeniable. And the most beautiful part is that it feels natural. It feels earned. There is also a reconciliation of understanding that is coming. Someone who once misunderstood your silence will finally comprehend your strength. Someone who misjudged your boundaries will begin to respect them. You will not need to defend yourself. The truth will speak on its own. And when that moment unfolds, you will remember this message and realize that the tears I shed were tears of relief, relief that your story did not end in confusion, but in clarity. You have spent too much time thinking you were behind. Comparing your journey to others. Wondering why their breakthroughs seemed louder, faster, more visible. But what you did not see was the depth of your own foundation being laid. While others built quickly, you were building deeply. And depth lasts. Depth sustains. Depth carries weight, the 30 seconds I mentioned represent the final hesitation before your breakthrough. It is the last whisper of doubt that tries to convince you that nothing is changing. It is the final echo of old fears. But when that moment arrives, you will have a choice. You can retreat into what feels safe and familiar, or you can step forward into what feels new and expansive. Stay till the end of this unfolding season, because you are closer than you think. There is a connection in your life that is shifting in ways you cannot yet fully see. It may be romantic. It may be a friendship. It may be a partnership. But this connection is being recalibrated. The dynamic that once felt unbalanced is finding equilibrium. Either it will rise to meet your growth, or it will gently fade to make room for something aligned. And whichever outcome occurs, it will not be loss, it will be alignment. I was shown how your energy changes in the coming days. You begin to carry yourself differently. You stop explaining yourself unnecessarily. You stop shrinking your voice to make others comfortable. And in doing so, you attract respect without asking for it. This shift is internal first, external second. That is why it feels almost magical when the outside world starts responding differently. But it is not magic. It is the natural consequence of inner transformation. There is also an opportunity forming quietly, an idea, a proposal, an invitation that seems simple on the surface but holds significant impact. At first, you might question whether you are ready. You might feel the familiar flicker of self-doubt. But remember what I saw. I saw you saying yes. I saw you stepping into that moment with courage. And I saw the doors that opened afterward, doors you once thought were permanently closed. You will not need to force anything. What is meant for you will move toward you with ease. There will be effort, yes, but not struggle. There will be growth, but not chaos. There will be challenge, but not confusion. You are entering a season where clarity becomes your companion. And clarity brings peace. Something else I must reveal: there are people who have been watching your consistency quietly. They may not have applauded you publicly. They may not have praised you openly. But they noticed. They noticed how you kept going when others expected you to quit. They noticed how you maintained integrity when shortcuts were available. They noticed your discipline, your patience, your humility. And soon, their recognition will manifest in tangible ways. Do not allow impatience to sabotage what patience has built. I know you are eager. I know you want visible results. But the final stage of preparation is delicate. It requires trust. It requires stillness. Stay a little longer in this space of faith. You might miss the turning point if you rush away now. I saw a moment where you receive news that makes you pause. Not because it is shocking in a negative way, but because it confirms something you had secretly hoped for. It validates your intuition. It proves that your quiet efforts were not in vain. And when that confirmation arrives, you will feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude, not for the outcome alone, but for the journey that shaped you into someone capable of handling it. You are not the same person you were a year ago. The insecurities that once controlled your decisions have loosened their grip. The fears that once kept you silent have lost their power. You have evolved. And evolution always attracts elevation. There is a celebration in your future, not necessarily a public event with noise and lights, but a personal celebration in your heart. A moment where you sit in stillness and realize that you made it through what once felt impossible. You will look back at this current version of yourself with compassion and pride. You will understand why certain things had to fall apart. You will see the pattern of protection that was woven through your story. And yes, there will be joy. Not temporary excitement, but steady joy. The kind that does not depend on external validation. The kind that comes from alignment. The kind that feels safe. You may be wondering why you had to wait so long for this message. Why it could not have been revealed sooner. But timing is everything. If you had heard this too early, you might have misinterpreted it. You might have tried to force outcomes. You might have looked for signs in the wrong places. Now, you are mature enough to receive it without desperation. The next phase of your life is not about proving others wrong. It is about proving yourself right. Right for trusting your instincts. Right for setting boundaries. Right for walking away when necessary. Right for believing that you deserve more than crumbs of attention or half-hearted effort. There is also a deeper spiritual awakening unfolding within you. You are becoming more attuned to your inner voice. More sensitive to subtle guidance. You are learning to differentiate between fear and intuition. And that clarity will save you from unnecessary detours. Stay with this process. Don't skip over the discomfort of growth. Growth is not always glamorous. Sometimes it feels like shedding old skin. Sometimes it feels lonely. But on the other side of that shedding is freedom. I saw you standing in a place of stability, emotionally grounded, mentally clear, spiritually aligned. The chaos that once surrounded you has quieted. The drama that once distracted you has dissolved. You are selective now. Intentional. Aware. Fear. Something huge is waiting for you, but it is not an explosion, it is a revelation. A realization of your own power. A recognition of your own value. A confirmation that you were never as lost as you thought. And when that final 30-second hesitation arises, the moment where you question whether to fully step into this new identity, remember what I saw. I saw you choosing courage. I saw you embracing the unknown with quiet confidence. I saw you smiling not because everything was perfect, but because you finally understood your worth. Do not underestimate the power of this season. It may feel ordinary on the surface, but beneath it, destiny is aligning details in your favor. Conversations are being prepared. Opportunities are being positioned. Hearts are being softened. Paths are being cleared. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are precisely where you need to be. As you move forward from this message, carry it not as pressure, but as reassurance. You do not have to rush. You do not have to chase. You do not have to prove. Simply continue becoming. The future I witnessed is not built on fantasy, it is built on the solid ground of who you have become. And that ground is strong. Stay present. Stay open. Stay aware. Because the next time you look in the mirror, you may notice something different, not physically, but energetically. A steadiness in your gaze. A softness in your expression. A quiet certainty in your spirit. And in that moment, you will understand why I could not stop crying when I saw what is ahead for you. The countdown is not about loss. It is about arrival. And you are arriving.